My name is Marc Hawes, and this is my pianist, Kevin Will. And today for my performance, you'll see 6 pieces, 3 Shakespeare pieces and 3 musical theater pieces. And I'm going to start by giving you a little background and history about me and how I've gotten to the idea and the question I've gotten to. My undergraduate degree was in music education, concentration, and voice, and so I spent quite a little bit of time learning how to read music and doing opera and musical theater. And it wasn't really until I came to the Birmingham School of Acting that I then had the opportunity to learn Shakespeare. And because we were on the British Tradition course, the first 10 weeks is designed in a module to learn Shakespeare. Now I can tell you, just from my experience to begin with, I had absolutely no connection with Shakespeare. I didn't know how to access it. It seemed like a very foreign piece of art. I was scared about it because I didn't understand it, and I might even say that I maybe disliked it a little bit too, because it just didn't make sense to me. And it wasn't until one class, in the very beginning, we had with Alex Taylor, our course advisor, and he brought to the idea to myself, and all of us in the class, of iambic pentameter. Now, if you don't know what iambic pentameter is, like me, I was not taught it in the American system. But iambic pentameter essentially is exactly how it sounds in I am or a de-doom. So a short syllable and a long syllable. And pentameter means 5. So it's short and long syllables made up of 5 of them. So de-doom, 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 de-doom. And essentially, this is Shakespeare's primary writing source. And on top of that, it also is the natural speaking pattern of English. And when we start talking about short and long syllables, I start thinking, okay, well then if there's a connection that way, then a short syllable, then we can think of it as an 8th note in music. And then potentially a longer syllable we can think as a quarter note. And then you can technically dictate dictate Shakespeare in music. So you could have 8 notes and quarter notes. And then my musical brain started thinking even more. So then if you talk about rhythm in Shakespeare, then there's rhythm in music. And if there's rhythm in Shakespeare and music, then you could potentially think that there must be some type of correlation between the acting techniques that are used to proficiently act Shakespeare and music, or musicals, where my access felt that I came from. And so what I've done for the past 10 weeks, I've come up with this question, which is, what are the required skill sets to act one of Shakespeare's major speeches and a solo song for musical theater, and is there a correlation between them? And so over these past 10 weeks, I have been interviewing actors, some on Broadway, directors, people in America who have done quite a little bit of Shakespeare, musicals, and people over here who have done quite a little bit of Shakespeare, and some actors who have done both. And so I have come up with a specific techniques list on how to act both, as well as a certain skill set. I'm not really going to speak a whole bunch about the techniques in general, because they're in my dissertation. But the important thing is that there is a correlation so far that I've seemed to have found in, there's quite a few skill sets that work for both. One of them is diction. You need very good diction in order to do both. Pitching of the voice, either being able to sing or highs and lows. Breath is very important. Following the rhythm. Storytelling, and then the one I think is one of the most important is truthfulness, and finding truthfulness in your performance of the character and to the audience. And the other really big one is the relationship between you and the audience. And so what my attempt today for my performance is, with the 6 pieces, is that I have taken these techniques and applied them to all 6. They're very varied in certain themes and different types of characters, but hopefully my goal is to portray my truthfulness to you, and above all, for you as the audience to enjoy. Because we can never forget that it was written both for the masses and entertainment purposes. And so, the 6 pieces, really quick, let me talk about them. How I came up with them really quick was, the first 2, I decided I wanted to pick 2 pieces that I had worked on since the beginning of this year. And since now having the knowledge that I've had for all year and in this 10 weeks, to then apply even more to those pieces. So I have 2 that way. Then I have 2 that I have seen performed, but never attempted to perform. So I worked on those. And then I have 2 more, which I had never attempted to or knew about necessarily or learned until this 10 weeks process. So I'm going to be performing them in the first order, starting with the 2 that I have just started to look at and work on for this 10 weeks. And these first 2 have a certain theme. Like, the other group of two will. And this first theme is essentially love, or not love, or being in love and then saying that you will never be in love, but maybe you will. So my first piece is Benedick from Much Ado. I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dictates his behaviors to love, will, after he had laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now he'd rather hit the timbre and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 miles afoot to see a good armor, and now will he lie 10 nights awake, crafting the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose like an honest man and a soldier, and now is he turned to orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see through these eyes? I cannot say. I think not. I will not be sworn, but if love may transform me into an oyster, but I'll take my oath on it till he has made an oyster of me, that I shall never be made such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am wise. Another woman is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich, she shall be dead certain. Wise, I'll none. Virtuous, I'll never cheapen her. Fair, I'll not look on her. Mild, come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician. And her hair shall be what color it please God. Ah, the prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor. Now the next piece that I will be doing is entitled Dear Lucy. And it's from a new musical, which is not necessarily produced yet. And the musical is called Circles. And this piece is by Drew Gasparini. Now the interesting thing about one of the big correlations I found between Shakespeare and musical theater is that they operate on very heightened points of emotion. And essentially what these are is the actor or the character is left alone on stage to tell the audience how they feel, what's really happening. So they may say something different to a character on stage with them, but to the audience, it's exactly how they're feeling. And that's prevalent in all 5 of the pieces I have, and I'll talk about the last one in a little bit when I get to it. But this piece especially, Dear Lucy, at one point the character will just start rambling about how much he's in love. And I think you'll see what I mean when you actually see it. So, give me one second. Dear Lucy, so bored to the point of snoring, because some dork caught the flu this morning, and decided not to join me in math today. Thanks. So I'm writing you this letter to say I hope you're getting better, but you missed out on Mr. Jenkins, full of classic Mr. J. And the way I sat and waited for you to walk through that door, or the way I laughed, imagining the times we shared before, or maybe it's the other night, the fact that we hooked up, but when I looked up and saw you were gone, I realized we have a little bit more together, and I know we've been friends forever, but the truth is, and I'm not afraid to say it, I love you, Lucy, more than you will know. Can't get you out of my mind, out of my mind. Look, I hope this doesn't scare you away. I think about it every day since 4th grade when we made our first trade, my pudding for your PB&J. this funny little filling of vanilla flavor ever have a chance with you? But I swear it feels like every second's killing me unwillingly. I swear it's like a million little dreams come true. But I can't get with it until you admit it, that you love me. Lucy, do you love me too? 'Cause if you do, we have a little bit more together. I can't get you out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind. From Tom. The next two pieces are the two that I have known, but never attempted to learn until this process. And this theme that goes on in these two pieces is essentially questioning why life is the way it is, asking God, not understanding, if I dare say, sometimes maybe even thinking of suicide and death. And of course, I can't talk about that without saying Hamlet, right? So my next piece. That this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter. Oh, God! God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fire! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. And that it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king there was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not redeem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as an increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet, within a month, let me not think on. Frailty, thy name is woman! A little month, or else those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe. All tears. Why, she, even she, oh, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, and yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes. She married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue. The next piece is Being Alive from a show called Company by Sondheim.
Of
theme here is essentially conquest, being a man, and just, I don't even know how to describe it other than that. The very interesting thing, the first piece I will be doing is Richard III. And it was given to me, and this is kind of what stemmed this whole process, because I was given Richard III, and I had many countless nights looking at it and just like shaking. It was like, I have to do this scene, and I don't know how to do it, I don't understand it. And so it's been the longest process that I've been working on in this piece. And so this is Richard III. Was ever woman in this human wooed? Was ever woman in this human won? I'll have her, but I won't keep her long. What, I, that killed her husband and his father, to take her in her heart's extremest hate, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of her hatred by having God, her conscience, and these bars against me, and I nothing to back my suit at all, but the plain devil and dissembling looks, and yet, to win her, all the world to nothing. Has she forgot already this brave prince, Edward, her lord, my some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and lovelier gentleman framed in the prodigality of nature, young, valiant, wise, and no doubt right royal, the spacious world could not again afford. And will she yet debase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this sweet prince, and made her widow to woeful death? On me, whose hall not equals Edward's moiety, on me, that halt and unshapen thus, my dukedom to a beggarly denier, upon my life she finds, although I cannot, myself to be a marvelous proper man. I'll be at charges for looking glass, then entertain some score or 2 of tailors to study fashions to adorn my body, and since I am kept in favor with myself, will maintain it at some little cost. But first, I will turn yon fellow in his grave, and then return lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair sun, till I have bought a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass. Now for this last song, it's entitled Man, from the full Monty, and the musical version by David Yazbek. And for this song, I'm going to be inviting one of my former colleagues, Mr. Jai Sahai, up to the stage with me. And essentially what I've said to this point, all these pieces that I have performed have been normally when the actor is on stage by themselves, the character, and are telling me truthfully how they're feeling. So how this piece is it's between 2 characters, Jai, who will be playing Dave, and then myself, who's playing Jerry. And Dave and Jerry have a little conversation. Jerry's trying to convince Dave that it's a great idea to become a male stripper. Okay? And Dave is just not having anything of it. So eventually, at one point, Dave will leave, and then it's left for Jerry, and Jerry then has to psych himself back up, and that's the moment of heightened emotion. So, without further ado, Kevin, hit it. You're out of work, your prize missing, they call you jerk, but you don't listen, you haven't got a pot to piss in, but you're a man, your hands are rough, your back is hairy, your talk is tough, your smell is scary, here's what you're not a fairy, no, you're a beer drinking real live man. And when the beef comes out, you do the carving. You hate Tom Cruise, but you love Lee Marvin, man. And that's a bonus, cause when you're swinging your cojones, you'll show what testosterone is. Cause you're a boomer-wearing, beer-drinking, Chevy-driving man. Listen, don't do it to be the most talked about man in Buffalo. Don't do it to see your best friend to keep seeing his son whom he loves more than life. Do it for yourself, Davy boy. Show yourself the stuff you're made of. It's my best plan ever. You can walk right now, but you'll be back. I know you're always there for me. Whoa! Surf's up, ladies. Here's the capsule, the big kahuna. I'm riding your pipeline. Pay 10. Stand back, ladies. It's quarterback, Jerry. Throw the long ball right into your end zone. Touchdown! Want to go for 2? Bases loaded. It's bad ball, Jerry. Swinging a big old bat. Back of my rancher, baby. Booyah! Jump straight up, kick a hole in the moon. Don't know exactly where I'm going, but I know I'm gonna get there soon. I'll show you. I'll show them all. I'll show them all the real thing. What is a man? Why does he bother? 'Cause he's a man. 'Cause he's a father. He wants his kid. He wants his life. He wants to I gotta be a man, a real man. Yes, I am. I've gotta be a real man with a mission like you see on television. I'm a real fine, genuine man. Be so kind to please, as you're on your way out in the hallway as we set up for the next one, to take some moments and fill out my questionnaire. It would be great for my critical analysis. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful